Have you noticed how, in today's world, people can scroll for hours but can't hold a single deep breath? We live in a time where silence feels awkward, but noise feels normal. We wake up to screens before we greet the morning light. We have hundreds of followers, yet still feel unseen. We capture moments for strangers to like, but forget to feel them for ourselves. We know how to take the perfect photo, but not how to look at our own reflection without judgment. We rush to reply to messages, yet take days to answer the questions in our own hearts. We wear smiles for the world while hiding the storms inside. It's strange, isn't it? Somewhere along the way, we started confusing connection with constant contact and confidence with constant performance. Tonight, let's step out of that race. Let's slow down. Let's return to the small, steady habits that quietly build our confidence, soften our hearts, and remind us of who we truly are. Lesson 1. Begin each morning in stillness. Before the sun fully rises, before the first message appears on your phone, before the world asks anything from you, offer yourself a moment of pure stillness. Find a place where you can be undisturbed, maybe by a window where soft light touches the floor, or in a quiet corner where the air feels fresh. Sit comfortably, allowing your spine to lengthen and your shoulders to relax. Close your eyes, and without forcing anything, notice your breath. Feel the cool air as it enters your nose and the gentle warmth as it leaves. Let your breathing slow naturally, like the gentle rhythm of ocean waves. If thoughts from yesterday appear, unfinished conversations, mistakes, worries, imagine placing them in a small basket by the side of the road, knowing you can pick them up later if you need to. For now, they do not belong here. If your mind wanders, bring it back to the simple truth. You are alive, you are breathing, you are here. This is not just relaxation. This is building the ground on which your entire day will stand. A still morning gives you something rare in this world: clarity before chaos. It allows your mind to choose what deserves your energy instead of giving it away to whatever shouts the loudest. And as you rise from this moment, you will find your voice softer but steadier, your actions slower but more certain. People may not know what has changed, but they will feel it. In the way you listen, the way you move, the way you meet their eyes. This is the quiet strength that comes from starting your day with yourself instead of with the world. Lesson 2. Speak less, mean more. In a world overflowing with voices, it is rare to find someone who does not rush to fill every silence. We speak to be heard, to prove we belong, to show we are thinking. But often our words are like leaves scattered in the wind, here for a moment, then gone without meaning. The Buddha taught that before any word leaves your lips, you should ask yourself 3 questions. Is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? This practice transforms not only your conversations, but your presence in the world. Imagine your words as seeds. Some seeds will grow into shade and fruit for others to enjoy. Others, if planted carelessly, will wither or even cause harm. When you pause before speaking, you choose which seeds to plant. You notice the small impulse to speak, just to fill a gap, to share a story only to turn the attention back to yourself, to respond immediately so you seem quick and clever. But wisdom lives in the pause. That pause says, I am listening. It says, I am not afraid of silence. It says, I value the truth more than the sound of my own voice. And when you finally do speak, your words will carry the weight of your listening, the strength of your calm, and the clarity of your thought. People will feel it. They will lean in, their minds quieting as you speak, because they know you are not just adding to the noise. You are offering something rare, words that have been chosen, not spilled. Over time, you will find you don't need to speak often to be remembered. You don't need to raise your voice to be respected. In fact, your silence will become as meaningful as your speech. This is the paradox of true confidence. It is not in speaking more, but in speaking with such care that every word becomes a reflection of who you are. Lesson 3. Maintain gentle eye contact. The eyes are not just a feature on the face. They are windows to the unspoken. In every conversation, before a word is exchanged, there is a silent dialogue happening through the eyes. Too often, we look without seeing, or we see without truly looking. We glance past people while thinking of something else, or we avoid their gaze out of shyness, fear, or discomfort. But there is a subtle power in meeting another person's eyes with steadiness, not sharp, not piercing, but gentle, like sunlight filtering through leaves. This is not about staring, and it is not about control. It is about presence. In Buddhist monasteries, eye contact is considered a quiet bow of respect, an acknowledgement that says, "I am here with you, and I see you as you are." When your gaze is calm and soft, it communicates safety. It tells the other person that they do not have to perform, defend, or pretend, and in return, they often open themselves more fully to you. Gentle eye contact requires trust in yourself. It means you are not looking to dominate or to disappear. You are simply choosing to remain present. You may notice how your mind wants to dart away, how your attention tries to escape into thoughts, how you feel a subtle tension in your chest when someone meets your eyes for longer than you're used to. Stay there. Breathe through it. Let your eyes rest on theirs without force, the way a feather rests on still water. And when you look away, do so slowly, as if you are leaving the door open rather than shutting it. Confidence is not in holding someone's gaze longer than they can. It is in holding it long enough to show that you are unafraid of being seen. People remember those who truly looked at them, because in a world of hurried glances and distracted minds, being seen feels like being valued. Over time, you will find that gentle eye contact doesn't just change how others see you, it changes how you see them. You will notice small details, the light in their eyes when they smile, the shadow of tiredness after a long day, the silent emotions they could not put into words. In those moments, you are not just practicing eye contact, you are practicing compassion. And compassion, when carried in your gaze, is the kind of confidence that needs no introduction, no loud voice, no grand gesture. It is the quiet assurance that you can meet the world as it is, one person at a time, one glance at a time without looking away. Lesson 4. Practice non-attachment to outcomes. One of the quietest, most exhausting ways we drain our confidence is by chaining it to results we cannot control. We tell ourselves, "I will feel good about this if it works out. I will believe in myself if they approve. I will be at peace if they stay." But the Buddha taught that all things, success, failure, praise, criticism, are impermanent. The more we tie our worth to what happens after we act, the more we suffer, because outcomes are like the wind. You can direct your sail, but you can't command the weather. Think of the archer in an old Buddhist teaching. The archer trains for years, learns the feel of the bow, the pull of the string, the steadying of the breath. They take aim with all their focus and skill. But once the arrow leaves their hand, its path is no longer theirs to control. Wind, distance, unseen obstacles, these belong to the world, not the archer. Your life is the same. You can prepare, you can give your best, you can pour your heart into an action, but the moment it leaves your hands, it no longer belongs to you. Yet in today's world, we have built entire lives around the illusion of control. We post something online and refresh for likes. We say something meaningful and wait for validation. We work hard on a project, but the smallest rejection can make us feel like all our effort was meaningless. This is attachment to outcomes. It's a subtle bargain we make with ourselves. If the world responds in the way I want, I will feel worthy. But here is the truth that changes everything. Your worth was never in the outcome. It was in the intention, the effort, the sincerity you brought to the act itself. Non-attachment is not carelessness. It is deep care without dependency. It is planting a seed, watering it, and letting it grow at its own pace, without digging it up every day to check if it's blooming fast enough. When you live this way, your confidence becomes unshakable, because it no longer rides the highs and lows of every response the world gives you. You find peace in knowing you are responsible for the planting, not the harvest. This practice changes how you handle both success and failure. If something goes well, you can enjoy it without clinging to it as proof of your worth. If it doesn't go as planned, you can learn from it without letting it crush you. You stop seeing life as a scoreboard and start seeing it as a path. Some stones are smooth, some are sharp, but every step is part of the journey. The next time you put your heart into something, a conversation, a job application, an act of kindness, remind yourself, I will show up fully, and then I will let it go. This simple sentence is freedom, and freedom is confidence that cannot be taken away, no matter what the outcome may be. Lesson 5. Walk with awareness. Walking is something we do every single day, so often and so automatically that we forget it is an act of life itself. Most people walk with their mind somewhere else, thinking about the past, planning the future, or replaying conversations that may never happen. Their body moves, but their mind is lost. Walking with awareness is the art of bringing your mind and body into the same place at the same time. It transforms something ordinary into something sacred. When you walk with awareness, you are not just going from point A to point B. You are practicing the ancient Buddhist principle of mindfulness, full presence in the here and now. Every step becomes a moment to connect with life as it is, not as you imagine it should be. You begin to notice the sound of your footsteps, the rhythm of your breathing, the feel of the ground beneath your feet. You notice the way your weight shifts from one leg to another, how the air touches your skin, and how your surroundings change with every step. This is not about walking slowly for the sake of slowness. It's about walking with purpose, even if your purpose is simply to arrive where you are. Thich Nhat Hanh, the Zen master, once said, "Walk as if you are kissing the earth with your feet. Imagine each step as a gentle act of gratitude, a way of saying, I am here alive in this moment." That simple shift in awareness can dissolve stress and bring a deep, unshakable calm. Walking with awareness also teaches patience. When you slow down enough to truly feel each step, you begin to realize that life is not a race. There is no real finish line to rush toward. Every destination is just another point along the path. In this way, mindful walking becomes a training ground for detachment. You learn not to cling to where you think you should be, but to fully experience where you are. In Buddhist practice, walking meditation is often done in silence, sometimes in a circle or along a short path. Each step is taken in harmony with the breath. Inhalation, as you step with one foot. Exhalation, as you step with the other. The pace is gentle, unhurried, almost like a moving prayer. But you don't need to be in a temple to do this. You can practice walking with awareness anywhere. On your way to work, in your garden, through a crowded market. The world becomes your monastery, and your feet become your teachers. When you walk with awareness, you also notice how everything around you is impermanent. You see the leaves swaying in the breeze, the way shadows shift with the sun, the way people move past you in their own worlds. You realize you are part of this constant flow. This understanding deepens compassion, because just as you are walking your own path, so is everyone else. Over time, this practice does something extraordinary. It changes how you carry yourself in life. You stop rushing through moments. You begin to walk not just with your feet, but with your whole being. You realize that every step is a chance to arrive, not somewhere else, but right here in the present moment. And in that simple, quiet arrival, you discover something profound. You were never really going anywhere. You were already home. Lesson 6. Cultivate gratitude in small interactions. Gratitude is not something that only belongs in grand gestures, celebrations, or once-a-year reflections. It is a living practice, a daily rhythm, that transforms the smallest of moments into sacred experiences. When you begin to notice the subtle offerings of life, you realize that gratitude does not need an event. It simply needs your attention. It might be the way someone holds a door for you without expecting acknowledgement, the quiet smile of a shopkeeper as they hand you your change, the stranger who slows down to let you cross the road, even the way the morning sunlight falls gently across your face as you step outside. These may seem like ordinary moments, but gratitude turns them into treasures. In Buddhist practice, we understand that everything is interdependent. Every sip of water you drink is connected to clouds, rivers, farmers, workers, and the earth itself. Every meal on your plate has passed through countless hands and countless stories before reaching you. Gratitude in small interactions means pausing long enough to see the invisible web of kindness and effort that supports your life. When someone greets you warmly, you recognize not just the person, but the energy they share with you. When a friend listens without interrupting, you see the gift of presence. When a stranger offers directions or advice, you acknowledge the invisible bond of shared humanity. This practice is not about forced politeness or empty thank yous. It's about genuine, embodied appreciation that you feel in your chest and carry in your eyes. It's about slowing down enough to notice the sound of rain on the window, the smell of fresh bread, the warmth of your tea, the gentle weight of a blanket on a cold morning. It is about allowing these things to touch you fully before they pass, because they will pass. And yet, because you noticed them, they become part of you. When you cultivate gratitude in small interactions, your world becomes softer, warmer, and infinitely more abundant. You start to see that even on the hardest days, life is constantly offering you tiny gifts. A look, a word, a gesture, a moment of peace. Most people miss them because they are rushing, distracted, or lost in thought. But you, if you choose, can make your life richer by collecting these moments like rare gems. Gratitude does not erase pain or difficulty, but it reminds you that alongside the challenges, there is still beauty, kindness, and connection. Always. And here is the secret. The more you recognize and express gratitude, the more it multiplies. People respond to being seen, appreciated, and valued. A sincere thank you can soften a tense exchange. A smile of acknowledgement can lift someone's day. Your gratitude ripples outward, touching lives you will never even know. In this way, small interactions are never small. They are the building blocks of a more compassionate world. So, begin here, today. Notice one small act, one small kindness, one small beauty, and give it your full attention. Whisper your thanks silently or aloud. Let it warm you. Let it change you. This is the quiet revolution of gratitude, turning ordinary life into a field of miracles. Lesson 7. Speak only to add value. In a world that thrives on noise, where every second someone is speaking, posting, or sharing without pause, the practice of speaking only to add value becomes a rare and almost sacred discipline. It is not about withholding your voice out of fear or shyness, nor about becoming so silent that you disappear. It is about understanding the immense power of words, how they can heal or harm, uplift or destroy, illuminate or confuse. Every word we speak plants a seed, either in our own heart or in the heart of another, and those seeds eventually grow into realities. So the question is, what are you planting? Buddhist wisdom teaches that speech is not merely a tool for communication, but a reflection of our inner state. If our mind is cluttered, restless, or driven by ego, our words will carry that same energy. If our heart is calm, compassionate, and intentional, our words will naturally carry peace. This is why the Buddha often emphasized right speech, speaking what is true, kind, and necessary, and refraining from speech that is false, harsh, divisive, or empty. Imagine for a moment how different the world would be if everyone paused before speaking and asked themselves, will this help? Will this heal? Will this matter in a year? Speaking only to add value is not about waiting for perfect moments or profound thoughts. Sometimes value is found in a small reassurance, a thoughtful question, or a quiet acknowledgement of someone's presence. Sometimes value is giving someone the space to share without rushing to fill the silence with our own stories. Value is not measured in how much we say, but in the depth and clarity of what we share. A single sincere sentence can transform a moment far more than a stream of careless chatter. But to master this, we must train in restraint. Restraint is not suppression. It is the conscious choice to filter our words through wisdom and compassion before releasing them into the world. It requires patience, self-awareness, and the courage to be silent when silence is more powerful than speech. Silence, in this sense, is not emptiness. It is an active, living presence that allows others to breathe, reflect, and hear the quiet truths within themselves. When you speak only to add value, people begin to listen differently. They notice that your words are not scattered or reactive, but deliberate and rooted in sincerity. They lean in, not because you demand attention, but because your speech carries weight. You become the kind of person whose words are remembered, not for their volume, but for their meaning. This practice also changes the way you listen. When you no longer feel the need to fill every pause, you listen more deeply, without the internal pressure to respond instantly. You begin to hear not only the words people say, but the emotions beneath them, the fears, hopes, and unspoken truths. And when you do speak, your response is more precise, more compassionate, more aligned with what is truly needed. Over time, you will find that speaking only to add value shapes your relationships, your reputation, and even your sense of self. You become a source of calm in a noisy world, a voice people turn to for clarity, comfort, or insight. You waste no energy on gossip, meaningless complaints, or proving yourself through empty talk. Instead, your speech becomes an offering, a gift you give to the moment, knowing that words once spoken cannot be taken back. And perhaps the most beautiful part of this practice is that it deepens your own inner peace. When your words are aligned with your values, you carry no regret for what you've said. You are no longer haunted by the feeling that you spoke too soon, too harshly, or without thought. You move through life lighter, clearer, and more intentional, knowing that every word you speak is worthy of the silence it replaced. So let your words be like drops of rain in a dry land, rare enough to be cherished, clear enough to be trusted, and nourishing enough to leave the world better than you found it. Speak to heal, speak to guide, speak to inspire. And when you have nothing of value to add, honor the moment with the most powerful expression of all: your silence. Conclusion. And so, as this journey of reflection draws to a close, remember, life is not a race to some distant finish line, nor is it a treasure hunt where only grand victories count. It is a quiet unfolding, moment by moment, in the way you speak to a stranger, the way you pause before reacting, the way you notice the light spilling across your floor in the morning. The seeds you plant in your smallest interactions will one day grow into forests you may never see, yet they will stand as proof that you lived with intention. The world will try to pull you into its noise, to measure you by what you achieve, but the truth is, the richest life is one lived awake to its simplest truths. So, walk with awareness, breathe with purpose, love without conditions, and let gratitude be your anchor in both calm seas and storms. Carry these lessons with you, not as words to remember, but as ways to live, and know that in every moment you choose presence over distraction, kindness over indifference, and stillness over chaos, you are quietly shaping a life that matters.